Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kara and I currently live in the Dominican Republic. Boy, do we have ourselves in a predicament here. Today's video is going to be a bit more about current events, and let me tell you about the most recent update to this whole COVID situation. There is going to be a new law coming out. Well, it kind of has already come out, but it's going into place on Monday, October 18th. By the time you're watching this, it's past that time, so the chance that I will have to just entirely toss this entire video because something has changed is highly likely. But if you're watching this now, great, it hasn't changed. But at the same time, boo, it hasn't changed, because this is a very, very debatable new law. The new law is that people will have to show their vaccination cards to enter just about any public place. This includes grocery stores, bars, restaurants, clubs, gyms, malls, sports centers, just about any public place that you can think of. I'll put a picture on the screen of the new comunicado, the new communication they're sending out. And what's interesting about this is that even though everybody, including tourists, will have to present their vaccination card to enter these places, to get into this country, nobody has to present a negative test, nobody has to present a vaccination card, and as well, for people who are staying in resorts or on organized excursions, so those type of things that are aimed at tourists, those places also do not require a negative test or a vaccination card. But if the tourists leave their organized excursion or their resort, then that's when they will have to present their card to the supermarket if they decide to go get groceries, or to a bar outside of their resort. So yeah, as you can see, there is now a bit of a debate going on. There have been protests because obviously this is not exactly fair, and people are starting to see where the priorities of the government are at. Obviously, tourism is a huge part of the economy here and a lot of people depend on it to survive, but at the same time, it's never been more obvious that that is the most important thing, because if you are asking people to come to this country but they don't need anything like a negative test or a vaccination card, which a lot of other countries in the world are now requiring for entry, then you're showing the people of your country that that money is very important to you, especially when you're making everybody present those things, the vaccination card, for entry to a simple supermarket, to get your groceries, to get food that everybody needs to survive. I mean, obviously, there's no double standard there, technically, because the tourists do have to present the vaccination card if they wanted to go to the supermarket. But it is just showing people, the native people especially, where the government is at in terms of caring about the health. They're saying, is this really a decision taken to protect the health of the people of the country? Because if you're letting people come here without even a negative test, which is required for me to go to the States, or probably many other countries, if not a vaccination card. So if you're allowing people to come here without a negative test, they could be bringing whatever COVID strain they want here, and they could pass it to whoever they want here, because the people who come here are obviously going to the airport. They're coming in contact with the local people who work at the airport, and those local people are going out and coming in contact with other people, and obviously that's not helping stop the spread if you're allowing people to come here without a negative test, without a vaccination card or anything. So it's just kind of insane that they're saying this is for the health. But clearly, if they really cared about the health, they would try to stop the COVID spread at the forefront from the tourists. What this comunicado is saying is that there's been less than 1% positive cases in the airports and hotels, and so that's why they are allowing people to come without negative tests or a vaccination card. But I still think it's not fair. People are mad, people are protesting here. I haven't seen it personally, but I've heard about it, seen it on social media, and that's good that people are protesting, because first of all, I think everybody at some point imagined that it might come to this where you would have to have your vaccination card to travel, to even go in places eventually. I think that has crossed a lot of people's minds. I know it did mine in the early stages of the pandemic of March 2020, even April 2020. Yeah, I remember talking about this with my friend, thinking, what if there's a vaccine and then we have to all have that to go anywhere? So it's an interesting thought, and now it's actually happening here. You do need your vaccination card to go to the supermarket or any public place. So this will be interesting. Tomorrow is Monday the 18th when they are supposed to put this into effect. So we shall see how strict they are with enforcing it, because some people have said, well, if they're as strict as enforcing this as they are with laws about motorcyclists wearing helmets, then they're not going to enforce it, because it depends on the people in the restaurants, in the individual grocery stores who are there, you know, standing. There are often guards standing outside, so it depends on them to enforce it. We shall see if they actually enforce it. That is the situation. People who are coming into this country don't need a negative test. They don't need a vaccination card. They don't need that in their hotels or their excursions or their resorts. But everybody, including tourists, if you go to a grocery store, if you go to a restaurant, any public place, then you do need to present your vaccination card, which people are saying is unfair, because even besides the whole tourist versus local people debate, besides that, it's not exactly right to say you have to get the vaccine if you want to go to the grocery store. That is not exactly giving people the free right to choose the vaccine. I mean, yes, I think a lot of people are in favor of having the vaccine and of other people getting it, but at the same time, people can still get COVID with the vaccine. People can still carry COVID with the vaccine, and even though it decreases your chance of developing a more serious illness due to COVID with the vaccine, people have gotten serious cases of COVID, and even here recently, people are even more sort of against the idea, because recently a senator's son died after getting 3 doses of the vaccine, and the first lady is saying people should get the 3rd dose, and people are seeing that news. He died from COVID even after getting the 3 doses. So people are sort of not really believing everything the government is saying. We shall see how this plays out. It shall be interesting. I don't like to get political, but this is something that is obviously starting to involve everybody. I know people who don't have the vaccine, so that's kind of concerning, thinking they might not be able to go grocery shopping to get food. I have heard that they will have to let in people who have only 1 doses of the vaccine. So people who are seeing this new law and thinking, oh shoot, I gotta go get the vaccine, and they get the 1st dose, those people can go to grocery stores. They are supposed to let them in, but this is still madness. Crazy that it's happening here. This thing that I imagined, and I imagine other people have thought of as well, might happen down the line. We are already here in the Dominican Republic, making people show their vaccination cards to get groceries. So yeah, this is very interesting, and it's also interesting because in a lot of people's workplaces, they are enforcing this by saying, okay, you have to have your vaccination card or get tested every 2 weeks. And sorry, nobody likes to get tested. I know I don't. The last time I got tested here, that was so bad. It made me cry because it's like up there touching your eyeball. It's a terrible feeling. That's a quick update. That is where we are at for the COVID situation. If you're a tourist coming in, congratulations. You don't need your vaccination card or even a negative test to enter the country. But if you want to go to the grocery store or leave your hotel or go out exploring on your own, go to a restaurant outside your resort, then supposedly you will have to show your vaccination card. Don't kill the messenger. I'm just telling it how it is. This is what I've been hearing, and it goes into effect tomorrow. If I have to throw out this whole video because they changed it already by Saturday, then I'll be mad. But hopefully not. If grocery stores and restaurants are turning people away because they don't have their card, then they're losing business. So it'll be interesting to see where people draw the lines and how much people prioritize it. But I do imagine if a restaurant gets caught or a big supermarket gets caught letting people in without their card, then that could bring them problems with the government. I don't know how this is going to play out. It will be interesting. That's all I know. I can't say I disagree with the people protesting because that makes sense. You can't just say people have to get this vaccine. You still have to be at least a little bit democratic and say people have a choice. Those are my thoughts on this topic. I don't think people should be forced to get vaccinated to just get groceries. I think I've already made that clear. But I also think double standard with tourists is questionable. I mean, they claim they haven't had that many cases brought in through the airport, but I don't know. That really sucks to see for the local people that they are just not as important. Their free choice is not as important as that of the tourists. So I feel very sorry for Dominicans, especially those who are not vaccinated and don't want to get vaccinated. Anyways, I will conclude today's video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think people should have to show their vaccination card to enter a grocery store or a restaurant or whatever? Or do you think tourists, people coming into the country, should have a negative test at least or a vaccination card? What are your thoughts? This is probably the most political video I've made. Anyways, that is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.